How would I get so lucky?
Hello, everybody. We are live on air, as I hope. If not, I'm talking to a screen and you have no idea what's going on. So, how does it go better than that? My name is Alan Jones, and I'm here with the most gorgeous and glamorous woman in the world. Woo! It's Glenyce Hughes.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming and playing today. Alan and I have been having way too much fun already, so I wonder what's possible for this hangout that we never imagined possible. Oh, and that's really what this is all about, right, Alan? Impossible to possible.
Exactly it. And there's been so much stuff going on in my head about where I've made stuff impossible and how I've made it impossible and all of that kind of stuff. And so I know that a lot of these questions already people have been kind of energetically feeding in. So I am so excited about what we can change here and what if impossible actually became impossible. I
Do
know
you
that's
mean like impossible to possible? Is that what you mean?
I mean, like, what if the actual impossibility becomes impossible for anything to be impossible?
Oh, you did the mind thing. Wow, I like that.
Isn't that awesome? What if,
That
yeah, what if
was
the only thing that's
awesome.
impossible is impossible?
I like that a lot.
Mm.
Oh, cool. So tell them how to send in questions if they would like to.
Okay, so if you would like to send in, sorry, bear with me if I'm not looking at the screen. I'm not being rude, I promise you. If you'd like to ask questions for us, you can post them on the event page on Facebook, which you may well have got the original link to register for the event for. And if not, if you don't have that, if you don't have access to that page, you can always Skype question me. And my Skype name is Alun, which is ALUN _ Illumin, which is ILLUM for mother INE. So ALUN _ ILLUM for mother IN for noddy E. Alan Illumin. And I will aim to pick up questions as I try and multitask. As I do multitask, because multitasking is not impossible.
That's right. It is very, very possible.
Mm.
Oh, cool. So this morning, as I was like looking at this, and I guess, for myself, I'm many things, I do many things, and I also am a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. So that's what all these tools we'll be talking about today are going to be based on the tools from Access Consciousness. You can find out more on their webpage, which is accessconsciousness.com. And I'll use a funny thing that sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook. And actually what it is this a phenomenal clearing tool. And if you'd like more information on the clearing statement, it's theclearingstatement.com. And you can actually sign up for a series of emails that you'll get about it and how to use it and how and works and all of that great stuff. So please, if you haven't, do that. I myself only did it a couple weeks ago because I kept telling people to do it, and I thought I should check this out, and it is phenomenal. And I'm using these tools for years, so I highly encourage you to go check it out. So yeah, we're going to talk about impossible to possible, and we welcome questions. And we've got our own stories that we'll share and tools that we use to get there. And in Access, one of the things that we use is questions, and questions to bring up an energy, and then we clear that energy with the clearing statement. So the question, when I was kind of playing with the energy of this hangout this morning, the question that was really, really yummy is, what have I made so vital about possessing the pretense of what is not possible that keeps me from creating the impossible? Everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate at all times the Godzillion?
Oh, yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyond.
Wow.
And I'm going to run it again. I'll keep running it throughout the Hangout as the energy comes up for it. So the first time I ran it, I did it in the me energy. So you can do it like that. You can run processes like that, or you can do it like, what have you made so vital about the pretense, about possessing the pretense of what is not possible that keeps you creating the impossible? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yum-y. Yeah, and really it's like, what have we bought into? What have the lies or the conclusions or the decisions have we bought into that keep us locked in what's actually possible and what's not possible? Like, we've got these two categories. Well, probably for a long time it was impossible to walk on the moon, and then somebody did it, and now it's possible. So
Totally.
we've got these categories in our own life. Yeah.
So, sorry, people are asking if it's already started. So bear with me. Do you know
Are they not seeing us?
They're asking, it's in the Netherlands. People are asking in the Netherlands whether it's like, people in the Netherlands, you are live. People in the Netherlands, you are live. Okay, so what came up for me around this whole thing around possible and impossible was need is not real. And every time, this was kind of something that came to me this morning as I was sitting on the sofa. Every time I feel like I need something, I make it impossible to have, because I'm separating it. Because like, if I feel like I need it, I'm acting as if I can't already be it or create it, and therefore I make it impossible ever to perceive, know, be, and receive it. Does that make sense?
A lot of sense, absolutely.
And I was wondering how many people operate from need, such that they then create things as being impossible because they've already separated themselves from what they've decided they're not or cannot create, and therefore it becomes impossible for them ever to have it.
Wow, yeah, so everything we've all decided that we need, everything that is.
Taking my shirt off now.
Holy doodles. You guys destroyed and create all that times a godzillion.
Definitely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because really, when we look at it from the place of us being infinite beings, we don't actually need anything.
No.
We don't need money. We don't need a body. We don't need a house. We don't need any of the things that we've been told we need, or somehow along the way we decided we need. And those things might be fun to have. Might be fun to have money, fun to have a house, fun to have a body. But you're so bang on, Alan, because yeah, the minute we go to needing it, it almost becomes this like resistance energy where we, in our need of it, we push away.
Yeah.
So everything you're pushing away when really you would like to be choosing, you guys destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Wow. Packing a punch.
Yeah, and what have we decided that we need that we don't actually need, that if we would choose it, would create a different reality beyond what we never imagined possible? Everything that is, we run and create all times a gazillion.
Yeah, I don't know what you said, but yes.
Wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, beyond. Neither do I, so I will not repeat that because I don't know what I just said. But,
So anyone listening, you're going to have to listen to the replay to get that, because
you will have to, yes.
we can't even hear what we're saying.
On this Hangout, you will get the replay link. We're also going to convert it to a download, like an audio download, so you will get those later today sent out to you, and I'm interested to re-listen myself. So
You get to see how awesome you are.
And I actually want to share a couple of cool stories that occurred very recently, that I created very recently. So on the weekend, I was uh, facilitating in Lloydminster, which is about a half an hour from where I live. And when I was there on the Saturday and went to buy lunch, I didn't have any cash, and I have, debit cards and all that sort of stuff. But it's like, oh darn, I wish I had brought cash. I'll remember to bring some tomorrow. And on the Sunday when I was driving in, I was like, oh darn, I didn't put any cash in my purse. And I thought to myself, like, how much of a conclusion is that right there? Like, I didn't put any in, so there won't be any in there. That's a really, silly conclusion on my part. Now, this reality would say that's the way it is. If you don't put it in your purse, it won't be there. So I just started playing with, like, what's this possible money that I've never even considered? And as I'm driving, I'm just playing with that. I'm not asking it to ensure that something shows up. I'm just playing because I wonder what else is possible with money that I haven't even considered. And that day when I went for lunch, when I opened my purse, I have a new purse that I bought a couple months ago, so I'm kind of just getting used to it in different compartments, and I felt something in one of the compartments that just something was weird about it. So as I was getting ready to pay for my lunch on Monday, I opened that compartment, and there was $200 in cash in that compartment.
Wow.
I know. And then the story gets even yummier because this morning, then that night, I was looking, and I'm off to India for the Access Consciousness 7-day on Friday, and I thought, oh, I have to remember to go to the bank and get some US money. The massage table I'm going to use in India costs some money, and just different things. So I want to get some US money. And I always keep money in my purse from all of the countries I visit. So imagine my surprise when I go into my purse, and I didn't consciously go to the question of what else is possible. It was just in my awareness that I required to get some US money. So that night, as I was going through my purse, imagine my surprise when I find $191 US in my purse. And it wasn't in a different compartment. It was with all my other money that I keep. And I was like, how would it get any better than that? So this morning, before I look in my purse, I'm wondering, what magic can I be? Because now I also was thinking, oh my gosh, not only do I require US money, I require British pounds because I'm stopping in and spending a week in London after the class in India.
Yeah.
And I looked in my purse and I had 40 pounds. I thought, okay, that's, I'll go and get some money from the bank tomorrow. And I thought, wait, what else is possible with money that I've never even considered? And just played around with it a little bit and carried on. And then I was sending out some books that I must show people because I'm so excited. I am a co-author of this fabulous book. How's it get any better? So I was sending some out to people who'd ordered them, and I wanted to put these cute little stickers on. So I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't used those stickers in a while. I wonder where they are. So I opened up my drawer to where I keep usually my passport and different things like that. There was 300 pounds. So how does it get any better than that? And what else is possible? And it's not just me that can do that, you guys. All of us can be magic with money. We can take the impossible to possible if you're willing to get out of the conclusion that it's not possible, that if you don't have it in your purse, that it won't show up. And it doesn't mean that you have to go buy a purse if you don't normally have one. If you use a wallet or something like that, or you could ask money just to show up as if by magic. Just really the key, from my point of view, is getting out of all of those decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations that you have about whatever you've decided is impossible. Because if I'd have went to the conclusion, stayed in the conclusion, as I did when I was driving to Lloydminster about money and, I didn't put it in my purse, I went to conclusion, and then I was willing to stop and say, hey, that conclusion actually doesn't work for me. So then I changed it to question. So it's like, how many of us are stopping at conclusion to ensure that we keep the impossible impossible, when all we'd have to do is change it to a question and be open to what the universe actually has to gift us. So anything that doesn't allow you to go to question, doesn't allow you to play in the energy of infinite possibilities. Will you guys destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
There are a couple of things that I'm aware of that are coming up from that for me, and I'm asking questions. You know, is that mine now as I'm saying that? Because I'm thinking, oh, I could feel a whole load of resistance coming out to everything you were saying. I'm thinking that won't work for me. She's been doing Access for so long, that'll work for her. She's just magical. I'm not that magical. It's never going to fucking work for me. And, you know, and this is all the stuff that I'm aware of. And of course, being cute but not bright, I'm completely owning all that and finding my whole body kind of going. So, yeah, just expanding out from that. So, can we just clear some of that? Because I think it's not about belief for me. It is just getting out of the conclusion, and also all of the autoresponders that, you know, it's like when you say that, I'm automatically responding of, well, you were just lucky, or, you know, that's what I'm getting. Do you know what I mean? I'll shut up and let you talk.
No, that's great, because you're very aware of all the energies that are coming up for everybody listening to this, either live or to the replay. And hey, I went there myself. So, yeah, all of the autoresponders and crushed autoresponders that you're using to stop you from creating the impossible, will you guys just create all that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how magic are you willing to be? Whew, everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, beyonds.
Sorry, I'm multitasking, so do carry on. So can we do that again?
Yeah. And it's almost like if you're, you know, I share these stories all the time, whether it's on my radio show or in my weekly newsletter or on Google Hangouts or other people's radio shows or anywhere I can have a platform to share, I share these. And I'm always in my awareness of what people can receive. So, you know, a lot of times people hear me or other people talk about these amazing stories, and they assume that if they create something magical, they have to share it. Guess what? You do not have to. You know, in Access Consciousness, we've got this great saying, just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone. So a lot of people in my world outside of Access Consciousness and clients and students, I wouldn't share any of that with, because they would have to make me wrong for creating it. They would have to, it wouldn't fit into their reality. So please know, when you are creating the possible, or when you are creating the impossible, please, you don't have to tell anybody except your cat or your dog. And it's really knowing that, you know, people don't have to know what's going on in your life and how you're creating things. And if they do ask you and you know that they couldn't receive that, you could say, oh, well, it's been really hard work, or something like that, just so that they feel better and you don't have to play in that energy of them making you wrong or any of that, or you don't need to validate their reality. And that's where I see so many of us, myself still included, is we don't want anybody to feel bad about themselves. So we don't want to share that money can be easy if our best friend is struggling with money. And we don't allow ourselves to be conscious that we don't want that, so we actually do it unconsciously. And what we do is we make sure money isn't easy for us too, so that we can buy their reality. We can validate their reality as true and real with money, when really, what actually could be a greater contribution? Could it be you being an inspiration with money, you creating money with ease, could actually be a greater contribution to the entire world than you having the limited points of view and the impossibility energy about money. So everything that brings up, and everywhere that you have been validating other people's realities with what you are creating, Oh, wow. Will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Oh, yes.
Oh, right, wrong, all nine podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds. And what have you made so vital about possessing the pretense of what is not possible that keeps you creating the impossible? Keeps you from creating the impossible. Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds.
Because so there's a couple of things that come up for me, or that I'm aware of coming up about that. One of them is about this whole too many thoughts. Pick me. So can we create? Can we create more for the world if we limit ourselves, or can we create more for the world if we don't limit ourselves? And that's the thing, and that just makes my head spin. It's like, so, and just because you're not limiting yourself, as you said, you don't need to tell everyone how you did it. It's okay to even lie about it. Go, do you know what? I think I'm just really lucky. That's something I've learned with some people I know who just can't hear when I, think, oh, you're a bit weird. I go, do you know what I am? But I'm also really lucky. And it's like, I don't know how that happened. And so that's that. And then there's this bit around the finding the money. And I'm really good at finding £5 or £10 in my wallet. I do that quite often, but I refuse to acknowledge that I might put that in. And that was just obviously me forgetting that I put it in there. Because that's impossible. You cannot materialize money out of nothing. It has to come from somewhere.
Can you just say that 3 times for me, Alan?
Yeah, okay. You cannot materialize money out of nothing. You cannot materialize money out of nothing. I'm not even sure I'm saying this. How can I say this? I can't even say it now. You cannot materialize money. I cannot materialize money out of nothing. I cannot materialize money out of nothing. I cannot materialize money out of nothing. It's not possible.
So all of the Shiku implants and explants holding that in place from all lifetimes, levels, universes, realities, anywhere I haven't mentioned. Will you revoke, can't, rescind, renounce, denounce, reclaim, destroy, and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyond. So the Shiku, you guys, is the hidden stuff. So when somebody says something like that, and if you might have caught, you might not have, but when, it's like, I can't materialize money out of nothing. There was an energy that Alan had when he said that. It can be something even like, well, money doesn't grow on trees, or it's always hard work to make money, or something that for me it just has an energy, and that's where we've bought it as so true and real. It's like implanted, but it's so secret to us and hidden and invisible to us that we don't even know we're saying it. A lot of times when I'll catch somebody saying that and I'll ask them to say it 3 times, they're like, what do you want me to say 3 times? Because they're not even aware they said it. Yeah, and then we really want to look at that, because that's the stuff, our course, as we know, Dane here has said, and we know our point of view creates our reality. So Alan could never, prior to that clearing, could never have materialized money out of nothing. So yeah, 5 or 10 pounds, because he can rationalize that. It's like, oh well, I had that in there from when I went to the store, or oh this, or oh that. But there's no way he could have had 200 pounds in there, because it's not. His point of view creates his reality. Now Alan knows energetically and on every level that he can materialize money out of nothing. So for the rest of you that have all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, expectations, projections, rejections, anything I haven't mentioned that you have about materializing money out of nothing, and that you just can't do it, and that it's impossible, and that it's wrong, and that must be black magic, and whatever else might be there for you about it, will you just revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, reclaim, destroy, and uncreate it all, and return to center with consciousness times a godzillion?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Honestly, you guys, that stuff is so not ours. An infinite being couldn't materialize money out of nowhere, or could an infinite being materialize money and anything else they would like out of anything?
It's like we're making what are the things we are making so meaningful and significant that we solidify them into impossibility? Whereas we know that there are other things that we just have no point of view about that we know we can change. So I know I can change the weather, you know, because I've done it, and I know I can hide things energetically, and there are all sorts of things, like, because I don't make it meaningful and significant. For me, it's like it solidifies when I make something. So whether it's business or whether it's, you know, it's almost like I've set, and or not just me, but people I coach as well. It's like there are certain things that we will set as, well, that's too solid and real and significant for me to be able to have magic with it.
Yes. Yeah, and it really is. You know, that's what I was saying when I was asking, you know, what else is possible with money I've never even considered. I was playing, and I did have a point of view if I had to use my debit card for lunch that day. It wasn't the end of the world. I have a funny point of view about small purchases. I like to use cash. It's just, but it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't even the end of the world to have to go to the bank to get British pounds tomorrow. Like, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then, like, hey, I can play, but it's not, like you say, that significant, that really solid energy of it has to be this way. And the more that we can let that go, I mean, whether you have that with how your kids act at a family function, or you have that about how your spouse acts at a family function, or you have that about how your neighbors have to behave, and all of the things in your world, you know, if you look at what you've really, really made significant and really, really made into concrete, and it has to show up, and if it doesn't show up, it means you're worthless, or it means you're invaluable, or it means you're not magical, or all of those things. It's like, hey, what if you just destroy and uncreate those, and you don't even have to, if you know the clearing statement, you don't even have to say it. You could just say, you know, I'm going to destroy and uncreate all of this stuff right now, and you can just in your head say the access consciousness clearing statement, those words, and the energy of it will run, just so that you start playing and being aware of what comes up, because awareness is the key. You know, if you're willing to, like I did when I was driving, it's like, hey, I acknowledged there was a conclusion that I'd have to get it. And then I went to question. So just be willing to at least acknowledge when you're doing conclusion, and then play with it, but not from a place of significance.
Mm. I think something else that I'm aware of that's coming up here is around having a formula. So I need to have the right. So it's like, you know, alchemists would turn things into gold. You know, they would have the correct formula to turn something into gold. And it's almost like, well, if it hasn't worked for me, if I haven't made it possible, then I haven't followed the formula properly, or I haven't done the right steps. It's like we get caught up in the methodology, and unless and until somebody tells us, it's like, okay, so Glenyce, tell me exactly the questions that you used, or tell me exactly how you were standing and how you said it and how you, and like, and you can, it's like all of this just it's like, just choose it.
Yeah, and how much do we use all of those as excuses to not create what we say we would like to create? Because then if we did create what we say we'd like to create, we'd have to acknowledge how magical we really are. Yeah, and if we actually did create what we say we'd like to create, and then we acknowledge how magical we are, we actually really wouldn't fit in here. We don't fit in anyway.
No.
We never have fit in. We never will fit in. But we have this crazy thing of thinking we should, we're supposed to. You know, if those people like us, then we must be good. We must be perfect. We must be whatever. It's like, you don't fit in anyway. You never will. In truth, if you were really honest with you, you really wouldn't wish to fit in. So it's like, what? Why not? Why not just let go of what is you're using to stop you from creating what you would like to, and start playing with the magic. And anytime you go to, well, I'm not doing it right, or it's not working, those are also conclusions, and the universe has your back. So no matter what you're saying or what you're thinking, the universe has your back. So if you're saying, this doesn't work and I'm not magical, the universe will show you more of that. Yeah. If you say, what else is possible? You're a little frustrated this hasn't worked so far, and I'll just keep staying in the question, and what else is possible, and you stay in the playful question energy, the universe has your back and will create with you. You have to be so aware of what you're what you're saying and the questions you are asking to the universe. Because even when you say, I'm not magical, or I tried it 3 times and it didn't work, so it doesn't work for me, that's still a question to the universe. The universe will still create that with you. So everywhere you are, you've already decided you're not magical and that you can't create beyond this reality. You destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion.
Oh, yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pot, pot, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So that to me is one of the tools to be aware and destroy and uncreate the conclusions, and then go to question. What is it that you would like? What is it that would be fun for you? What is it that you would like to create? And the other one that I'll often use if I kind of feel that energy of it's impossible or I can't do that is, what have I decided that's impossible that's actually possible here?
Yeah,
Everything that is, I didn't create it.
Yeah.
So right now, just bring one thing to mind, you guys, just whether it's a money situation, a relationship situation, a business, career situation, a body situation, whatever it might be. Just bring one thing to mind and just kind of get that energy, and it's probably going to feel a bit heavy and a bit dense. Just bring that to mind. No, yours is light and airy. Yeah. As Alun is out. All right, so just bringing that energy to mind, and everywhere you've decided it's impossible, and everywhere people have put on to you that it's impossible. So whether you've talked to family, friends about it, and they've told you it's possible, or you've seen other people not be able to create beyond it, it's really concreted that impossible. So all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, and computations, expectations, rejections, separations, anything I haven't mentioned that you have, that it's impossible to change that. We destroy and uncreate all of them and return them to sender with consciousness.
Yes.
Good, bad, all 9, pot, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, as long as you're able to do this, close your eyes. In the energy of that thing you were just thinking about. What else is possible for that you've never even considered? What else is possible with that you've never even considered? What else is possible with that you've never even considered? What else is possible with that you've never even considered? And all of the autoresponders and crushed autoresponders, keeping that impossible to change. Will you revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, or claim, destroy, and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pot, pot, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What else is possible with that you've never even considered? What else is possible with that you've never even considered? What else is possible with that you've never even considered? You can just open your eyes, and it's a really quick and easy way, from my point of view, to change when you get stuck in that impossible energy. Because you're clearing, and then you're also being willing to open up to the universe and say, okay, what else is possible? And I always like to add that I've never considered, because often when I'm asking, okay, what else is possible here? I've already decided what else is possible. So I'm already operating on a conclusion. So the moment I say what else is possible here, I've never even considered, it actually takes it beyond what I could have decided or concluded it should be. So then once you play with that, the universe can contribute so much.
You know, one of the things I find I do sometimes when asking questions like that is my cognitive mind tries to go looking for the answer, and I end up in a loop. I can't get the answer, you know, my mind can't work it out now, so therefore nothing else is possible. What else is possible I've never considered? And then my mind goes off again, and then it comes back and says, well, there's nothing else. And so then I ask the question again. And so I get stuck in this loop of insanity of, what else have I tried that if I just tried a bit harder would change it? And that's where it is. That's where I misidentified it. I just get that awareness now. I'm not asking what else can I fucking do. It's like, what else have I done already that I can do again even more? And I can change it. Because if I was truly magical, any route I take would work.
Right.
Wow. Nobody else
Wow.
does.
No, you're the only one, Alan. That's a brilliant awareness, though. An absolutely brilliant awareness.
Wow.
Huh.
And it's almost
So
like,
all of
sorry, just now that I've acknowledged that, it's almost like it's starting to dissolve anyway. But yeah, go ahead. That's the last.
yeah, all of the conclusions and all of that energy, and if I just do enough, if I just talk enough, if I just work enough, if I just all of that enough,
Excuse me.
will you revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, reclaim, destroy, and uncreate all of that and return to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whew. So what is something, Alan, that you have taken from impossible to possible using the tools?
Impossible to possible. Oh God. And so, of course, now I've got into I need to shut everything down because I can't tell anyone how magical I am. So, there's lots of. I was thinking about that this morning because I was listening to a call by Gary and Dane, and Dane was saying, just think of one magical thing that you've ever done. And so, let's talk about. So, let me give you an example of. One of the easiest ones I can ever do is the weather, because it's just so natural for me to be able to change the weather. Well, I was hosting a class in Brighton last year, and the week before they were predicting the worst thunderstorms, hail, winds, gale force winds that the place had for like 10 years. They were predicting that. And I just had no point in me going, so what would it take to change that so that actually it's more calm and more clear? And, just kind of just played with that and just left it alone. And then when it came to the Friday and I travelled down there, the skies started to clear, and we had two of the clearest, most sunny days that they'd had on record for years. There were no clouds in the sky. There was just burning hot sunshine. It was an amazing thing, and I totally acknowledge that I helped to co-create that, because I had no point of view about, has it changed yet? No. Has it changed yet? No. And that's the thing. It's like that's where I know that I'm. So I don't know if you. So this is kind of related to this whole thing around changing the impossible to possible. For me, it's like I had this awareness about my body with my eyebrows. I pick at my eyebrows, and the awareness I had this week was, it's when my body's letting me know that I'm picking at something I need to leave alone. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So my body is fucking awesome, and I love my body for it. And it's like, because the more I pick at it, the sorer it gets, and the worse it gets, and then the more bald my eyebrows get, and then the more stressed I get, and it doesn't change to be the way I would like it to have been. And so then I think about my money situation or my weight situation or anything else that I'm thinking of. I ask for the change, and then I keep going, has it changed yet? Has it changed yet? And I pick. And and so that's like when you just ask a question like I did for that weather, which is pure play and not vested in the outcome, like you are with, hey, what else is possible with money that I've never considered? And it's like, what else is possible with holidays? What else is possible with my business? What else is possible with my life? What else is possible with sex, relationships, any of that, without being vested in the outcome and without bloody picking and at yourself the whole time? Has it changed yet? Has it changed yet? Has it changed yet?
That is such brilliant awareness, because that's exactly all we've been talking about. It's all different, and yet it's such the same energy of, yeah, if you keep it's like, you know, a watch pot never boils, or that sort of stuff. Like, if you keep looking at it and has it changed, has it changed, right then you're going back to the significance of it changing. The minute
Exactly.
we have it significant, we can't, you know, not that we can't change it, but we're not going to change it from that energy. So it's really, if you just get really clear on those things that you've decided have to change, or decided that mean something if you get something, or if you have, you know, a class that has 20 people in it, it must mean you're great. And if you have a class that has, you know, nobody show up, it must mean you're horrible, or anything like that. It's like, get rid of all of those things.
Yeah.
All of those will stop you from creating the magic that's really possible, and beyond. So I love the weather one, Alan, because it's like, yeah, it's just got that energy for you. It's like this just space of, that'd be cool if it did, and cool if it didn't, and we'll have fun no matter what. And, you know, and I mean, I wonder what it would be like to have that energy about our body. Now, as how many of us have that harsh energy and it has to change? And, you know, I've heard Gary say many times that what you start doing and using the Access tools on is usually the last thing to change. So I'm also within that category, because I went in there, like most things I've taken, it's like, okay, what's it going to take to change my body? And that's kind of the, you know, in searching for the solution to something I'd made very significant, I have changed everything else and not my body. Because I'm able to choose, not been able to, but I've chose to let the other things be less and less and less significant. Then it's like, well, the body, and if I have all this extra weight, then, oh, people think I'm not using the tools, or people will judge me like this, or people will do this. And it's like, actually, at this point, that's not what goes on in my mind, but there's still this kind of thing of A plus B equals C. So I'm using the tools, I'm following it, and it's not actually working to what I've decided it should. And it's the same energy, it's the significance. So it can't change to what I've decided it should, because I've got the significance on it. So how does it get any better than that?
Can I ask you a question as well about that as well? Because we know from the conversations we're having right now, that when we don't make something meaningful and significant, other stuff that we can ask questions about can change, because that's the magic we are. So how often do we make one thing so fucking meaningful and significant because we know that if we make that meaningful and significant, we won't put meaning and significance on everything else, which means we'd be magic in everywhere else. It's like we've made that our way of tapping into the magic we be. It's like, if I do that, then everything else in my, and I can put up with that, because that means then that I can change anything else.
Right. Yeah, instead of saying, hey, I can change it all if I were willing to choose it. But yeah, absolutely. Wow. So everywhere, all of us are doing that in whatever area. You guys try and create all of that times a godzillion.
Yes.
Ooh, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. So what have you made so vital about possessing the pretense of what is not possible that keeps you from creating the impossible? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion.
Absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
So we have a question.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm kind of ignoring you. Because I'm so rude. I am so aware of lots of projections and this is from Reed, who's posted it on the page. So he says, I'm so aware of lots of projections and conclusions that creating extra money isn't possible. What would it take to not go into conclusion and projections and return all those projections and conclusions that I bought from others as mine with consciousness?
You know, one thing that I'm often doing myself and suggesting to students and clients is write them down. So you said you're aware of them. Write them down. You know, start writing. Okay, I can't create money as if by magic because, and start writing all of the reasons why you can't down, and then go to each one individually. And everywhere I bought this is true and real, I destroy and uncreate it and return to sender with consciousness times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now it might take you an hour. It might take 2. It might take 10 minutes. Just be willing to put in the time, because I have done it so many times on so many things, and it has shifted so much
Mm.
that then they don't become this kind of responder of, oh, well, that's just possible for them and not me, or whatever it might be. That's one of the ways that I would, play with that, just to really, really do kind of like what I might call a big house cleaning.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the thing, isn't it? We say, it's all of life. The access mantra is, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. But that doesn't mean you're just going to sit on your arse and expect it all to change just because you asked a question. If you want your windows to be cleaned, it doesn't have to be hard work, but you do have to get off your butt. It's like people who talk about, there's that whole joke around the guy saying, God, why, I want to win the lottery. God, I want to win the lottery. God, I want to win the lottery. And when he dies, he doesn't win the lottery. He says to God, why couldn't I win the lottery? And God says, for fuck's sake, work with me, buy a ticket. It's like, action doesn't have to be painful, but if you want to clear your limitations and beliefs and stuff around what's possible and impossible for you, it is going to take you sitting down and just doing something like writing it down and going, actually, well, let me be aware. Because for me, it's like I'm working with people. It's like, well, if you're not willing to be present and aware of what you've decided is impossible, how the hell can you change it? If you don't know that, if you're not willing to go and look in the cupboard under the stairs where the smell is coming from, you're never going to know there's dead mice in there. Or, okay, so here's some magic that we did. Evo. Impossible to possible. I nearly blew us up. At New Year. So basically, months ago, Bill had smelled gas in the house, and he was like, "Can you smell that gas?" I'm going, "No, I can't smell it. I can't smell anything." He says, "It's coming from under the stairs." So I'm looking and said, "No, that's probably just the dead mice, because we've had dead mice under our stairs." So there we go. That's where the dead mice come in. And so didn't do anything about it. So this is kind of July, August sometime. And then in December, we had some friends over, and I had a bars class on. These were on separate days, and everyone who's coming into house going, "God, I can smell gas." I'm like, really? Because I had a cold, couldn't smell anything. Anyway, we decided that when so many people could smell this gas, that we'd call the gas board out, and out they came and told us we had a massive gas leak underneath the house. So immediately I'm kind of going into, okay, well, let's not go into a beyond. What can we take to change this? What magic can I be? Da, 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 da. We found out that underneath the floorboards, fortunately, exactly at the right place where we could get to it easily to have it repaired, one of the pipes had basically, it just kept coming off and going back on again, coming off and going back on again. So basically we were just like minutes away from the whole, yeah, right? And that had been like that for months. And so it's like, call it luck, call it coincidence. No, I call that magic, that I just kept saying, okay, so what else is possible here? We didn't go up with a bang on New Year's Eve, which not that way anyway. And so, and we had it repaired, and I was thinking, oh, it's going to cost us thousands, because it's, it's like, okay, so that's conclusion, pop that. And so what else is possible? It cost us £85 to have the pipe repaired and the step repaired, and it was all done within 2 hours. So, it turned out so much better than I ever could have dreamed when all these people were saying that. And it's like, if I asked the energy, what would have happened if I hadn't asked those questions? And I wouldn't be here talking to you now. That was the awareness I got.
Wow. That is brilliant. In so many ways, that's brilliant, Alan. And the last spot that you just said, I've never done, but I wonder, in terms of asking, so if you do create something that maybe you would go to judgment of not being magical, and access the questions we use with that. Is what's right to me I'm not getting, what's right about the situation I'm not getting, because usually we're asking the universe, what's wrong with me that this didn't work out, or what's wrong with this, blah, 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 and whatever asks the universe will contribute, so you don't want to be focusing on what's wrong with you, but when we go to what's right about this, but what an amazing question to say, okay, this isn't maybe the way that I would have liked it to, so what would have occurred if I wouldn't have asked any questions? And you can get that awareness. It might just feel really heavy and icky, so that you know that even in your asking and creating, it didn't work out the way that you thought it should or you would have liked it, but at least you have the awareness that it did create more.
Mm.
I love, Alan, that you asked that. That is so brilliant.
It's such an. I mean, I literally this morning I was asking something similar in terms of, okay, so um, what would the world be like if I had chosen never to be in it? And the awareness I got of things that just would be really unpleasant for so many people. And I'm totally willing to receive any judgment about that. It's just like, wow, just getting that feel of, say, if anyone who's listening, if ever you doubt the contribution that you really are just by being, just ask the question, what would the world be like if I had never chosen to be here? Because you wouldn't be on this call now. Glenyce and I certainly wouldn't be able to go where we're going today, because it's your energy that's adding to this too. And that's the thing. It's like, so where have you been magical? Where have you turned the impossible to possible that you've never acknowledged? So Ellen has a question. She says, is the talk you had about things that won't change and you think it is the most important thing for you? I get what you say, but I'm also aware of other people thinking, why don't you just change that? You have the tools, why don't you just use them? Can you clear that?
Okay. So it's more that it's more that she's aware of their judgments that they're projecting onto her. Is that how it reads?
Yeah, it's like, you've got the tools. Why don't you just use them? Just use them. Just pod pocket. Just because some people, I've heard people say that before. It's like, why don't you just pod pocket? Why don't you just choose something different? And I think sometimes that's actually a very unkind thing to say to people. We just choose something different. It's just a choice, because they can't always hear it, and also that comes from a space of judgment and resentment. So.
Yeah, and it really is the judgment, and also just be aware if you are playing with the Access tools and you're playing with people who are studying the tools and choosing more consciousness and all of that, doesn't mean they can't still be jerks. So it's really being aware of if somebody's using the tools to create more, if they're using the tools against you, and it's you have to be acknowledgement of that and just be like, hey, yeah, I wonder why I'm not. Must be I'm not. It's not. But if there's an energy there for you, Ellen, about being judged, about not, like maybe you're just perceiving that their energy about it and they're not actually saying it. Where you're not willing to receive people thinking that about you and judging you for just not choosing it or not changing it or not fixing it, just destroy it and call that times a godzillion. Mm-hmm. Good battle 9 putt shorts, boys and beyonds. Because what if we were willing to receive somebody having that judgment about us? Well, man, you've got the tools, just fix it.
Yeah.
Hey, and it might be something, if it is something they're saying out loud, it might also be that you weren't using your awareness of who you could share with. Because a lot of times when, I don't often talk about my weight in class or anything like that, because a lot of times people will kind of go to the advice. It's like, well, have you tried this diet, or have you done this, or have you done that? Like, that's actually not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for any advice or anything. I'm not asking a question of anybody. It's just sometimes it's one of the things that I will talk about. So when I talk about the impossible or changing or that sort of stuff, but it's just also being your awareness of is it going to create more when you talk about something with somebody, or are they going to go to, well, you know how to fix that, just go fix it, just go pod and pock yourself, or that sort of stuff. That's not kind. And be willing to be aware and be willing to receive it. The more we're willing to receive people's judgments, even if it's from their kindness or whatever shit they might try to give you, if you're willing to receive it, then you'll receive everything. And the more we're willing to receive judgment, positive or negative, whatever we've decided from this kind of this reality, the more money we'll receive too. If you don't have a point of view about what's being said to you or about you, then you can receive even more and more and even more. And that can be money, that can be kindness, that can be joy. I mean, there's so much of it.
I think one of the biggest things for me out of all of this stuff is the willingness to play, the willingness to have fun. Because when you're a child, the idea of possible and impossible just doesn't compute. Because as a child, they just play with it, and if it doesn't work out the way they wanted it to, they'll either do it a couple of times and find out whether it will, or change it, or they'll choose to do something different, or they'll do it a different way. It's really innovative how I would see my little brother doing stuff. It was like, oh my God, how? My sister used to get out of her, somehow, she used to get out of her cot. And they tried everything to keep her in. She would get out. And that's how magical she was. But of course, she's clever. She's obviously very clever. Well, actually, probably, yes, she is. But, I don't doubt that at all. But it's just like, how magical. But then we tell people that can't be magic. But, she had no point of view about it being impossible for her to get out of the cot. And, there was that whole thing where almost like it became a game for her. The more difficult you make it for me, the more I'm just going to keep doing it.
Anywhere we're not willing to be that energy about, or the consciousness that's connected to that energy, anywhere we're not willing to be the consciousness that's connected to that energy of, well, I'm just going to show you. You've told me it's impossible. Everybody says it's impossible. This reality definitely said it's impossible. Let me show you. I'm going to be over here doing it.
Yeah.
What is that proverb to those who say it shouldn't be done shouldn't bother those who are doing it, or something like that? It's like, let's just stop projecting that and let's start being the invitation and celebrating ourselves and acknowledging it, because it's not something to hide unless you have the awareness that people are going to judge you. So in my newsletter, each week I talk about something from my life usually, and I only share to the degree that I'm willing to receive judgment about what I share. So last year there was a really cool thing that I created where we were driving and my husband was driving and I was the passenger, and I could see a deer coming and we were going amongst a bunch of traffic and all of this, and I put my hand out towards the deer and just went no, and it was from a potency I'd never chose to be before. And my husband was kind of like, hey, I can't stop, or no, I said stop. I didn't say no, I said stop. And he's like, he thought I was talking to him. He's like, I can't stop. Like, he could see it, but he couldn't stop because there was traffic, and better just to hit us than us cause a 6-car pileup. And in that moment when I put my hand out and said stop, it was like the deer literally hit an energetic wall and turned around. Like, I don't even know it had the comprehension of what just occurred, because it was going one way and then in the next 0.3 seconds it was going the other way. It was so phenomenal. And I sat with that for a while before I put it in my newsletter, because it was like I knew that at least to begin with, I wasn't able to receive. If somebody would have, on my newsletter list would have emailed back and said, oh, that's stupid, you're ridiculous, that's wrong, you can't do that, I knew I would let that affect my magic in the future. So I sat with it, I got more clear with it, I pod and pocked that gunk of my own around it so that I could share it. So you want to really be aware. Sometimes we share the magic we be so that we set ourselves up to stop it. So we'll share it with somebody who doesn't agree with that or doesn't want to agree with it or whatever, wants to make you wrong, and then that ensures we lessen our magic next time. So just be, just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone.
You mean we actually go around looking for people who can't hear it in order to stop ourselves? That's not insane.
That's why in Access we often say that we're so darn cute, but not always so bright.
Because this is like, and how often do we go looking for the people that we know can't receive it? Because if we can make them receive it, then that will prove to us that we were right in the first place, that we are magical.
Yeah.
Uh, I can't even repeat that again because that's just mindfuck stuff. But yeah.
Yes. Every that is. Let's destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion.
Oh yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds.
Sorry, someone's just messaged to say I'm asking all our questions. It's like I'm in her head. I am in your head. It's called everyone out there listening. I'm in you all, and I know some of those thoughts you're having, and then they're very rude.
Oh, and did we have another question in the Facebook event?
Did we? Oh, hello. Where are we? Ellen's. Thank you. Ellen says, thank you. I got aware of my judgment that I have the tools, that I have to clear it. Reed says, thanks, Glenyce. Lots of awareness points of view are brought up. Is possible. So there's no new questions that I can see. So yeah, we're coming to a close. So if you've got any more questions, people, whack them in quick.
And hey, I want to talk about what we're going to do in London.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, baby. So I leave on Friday for India. How does it get any freaking better than that? My first time to India. I'm just thrilled for the 7-day. And then on my way home, I am going to stop in London and spend a week there. How did I get so lucky? And Alan and I are going to do, I guess I'll facilitate it. And Alan is my amazing host. We're going to do the 5-day. Yes, and sexy too, right? I mean, how did I get so lucky? So starting Wednesday, February 11th, we're doing bars. And then the 12th and 13th will be foundation, and 14th and 15th will be level 1. And what better Valentine's gift to you or to your loved ones, or to you and your loved ones, to come and join us. We are, do you call it Central London? Like what is the Thistle Barbican Hotel? Like, where is that?
It's in the city or central London. Yeah. Because I know we had this conversation earlier on, when I was saying going into London, and it's just like, I do live in London, but not central London. So yeah, so it's the Thistle Barbican is in the city near Old Street, and it's actually really convenient to get to. It's not kind of a long walk from any of the. There are 3 stations quite close to it. So yeah, it's a good.
And if you like to have this sort of fun in London, this is what Alun and I were doing earlier.
So, if you want to come and play with us in London, and we can be really magical, like I can turn into a dog, I can turn into a cat, I can do awesome things.
I can be the queen you've always been. Oh no, that to me is so fitting. Like.
So yeah, we're having, the thing I just wanted to say about, there are 2 things. So you're all going to have to go overtime because you're in detention. You must stay late.
Detention. We've got more to clear.
We've got more to go. So yeah, I love Glenyce's stuff. I've been listening to her for about 2 years, and the thing that I remember very vividly was right at the very beginning, listening to her first show a couple of years ago and thinking, God, I would love to meet this woman. And I would, what would it take for me to even just meet Glenyce? And in my wildest dreams, I had no concept at all of being able to create with her. And so I'm perfectly willing to acknowledge the magic that I have been and I be that co-creates me creating with you, Glenyce. I'm so very grateful. It's almost like you see. I don't want to get into the whole idol thing because you're not an idol. You're gorgeous and you're wonderful. But I'm gorgeous and wonderful too, and I'm my idol.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like, and I get to create with you, and the fact that I'm getting to host you for the 5-day, and again for me the 5-day is, yes, they're the core classes, but the tools for those classes, no matter how many times I do them, just create so much change for me. And I see people change who go to them. So if you've done it once, you've done it twice, you've done it 10,000 times. For me, it's like I could never get enough of doing the 5-day, because I get such ease and space when I'm around it. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. You know, I mean, this many years in, I have taken more classes than I can count, and every one of them are totally different. And that's why I'm so grateful that he has the that Gary has the half price set up for us to do, so that we can go to these classes. It doesn't cost full price every time that we go. So if you've been to a foundation level 1 in the last 12 months, you can come at half price, which is, I think half price is £450 for foundation level 1. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly off the top of my head, but
I can pull that up now for you if you carry on talking. That's fine.
and yeah, and we get to be in the center of London, and we get to play. There's a phenomenal coffee shop not far from there that when I did an intro about out creating your awesomeness when I was there in November, we went and spent time at this amazing little coffee shop. So I'm so excited to head back and all of that. So now you guys know what's out there, what's possible with us in February, and you know what? Keep watching this space, because we've got so much more to create. I know for myself, when Alan was talking about when he asked, you know, what the world would be like without him, Maya, for me. So, so thank you, Alan.
You are so welcome. And it's, you know, something that I've acknowledged is there are people now who are asking me to be part of their classes or telecalls and I've been asked to, you know, a few times just to be a part of them because of the energy I be, and that is such a compliment. And at first, I went into the, oh my God, that's impossible. You know, how can I offer everything? And I kind of went through all of using the tools, like who does this belong to? Everything is the opposite what it appears to be, etc., etc. All of those tools that you get in the core classes have really helped me to shift probably about 90% of that. Do you know what? Just being. So every one of you on this call, this is why I said it earlier on, every one of you who is on this call is contributing, even though we can't hear you. So, you know, thank you to all of you. And thank you to Gary and Dane for creating such amazing kind of stuff.
So amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to clearing again. So what have you made so vital about possessing the pretense of what is not possible that keeps you from creating the impossible? Everything that is. We destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you can even ask, you know, hey, universe, show me where I've decided that something's impossible that's actually possible. And then it becomes really clear. Go out in your day and you're going, oh, I've got to go to the post office, but I'm going to have to park 6 blocks away because it's lunchtime and it's always so busy. Then all of a sudden it'll be really loud in your world, and you're like, oh, wait, the universe is showing me that this is something I've decided that's impossible. Okay, destroy and uncreate, and what else is possible here I've never even considered. And just keep changing it and playing with it, and don't go to judgment if it doesn't work the way you've decided. Go to question of, what's right about this I'm not getting? The universe can show you that too.
Awesome. So the prices for the foundation and level 1 are £450, and then a half price from that if you're repeating within 12 months. And bars is £190 unless you're repeating that, and that's £95 if you're repeating. So how does it get better than that? Remember, if you come to the class, if you register for the class is more able to contribute to you, and you can be a contribution to that class. So, you know, come along, have some fun, or if you know anyone else who would like to come and have some change too, and you know, let's just be magic and have fun and put masks on. let's just be little doggies and cats, or not. I don't really know. But hey.
Oh, how I love you, Alan. Oh, wow.
Round of applause! Yay!
Oh, all right. Any other questions that we've?
Let's just
Anything
have another
else?
quick look before we go.
Oh,
What
did
have we
somebody
got?
post? Am I reading this correctly? That Janet had a bars booking for next week while she was watching this?
Absolutely. I was going to mention.
Oh,
Awesome.
how does it get any better? And guys, have you ever thought to ask the universe, hey, universe, what would it take to get paid for watching this Google Hangout?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right? You can ask anything.
That's a little kill. Ka-ching!
Cha-ching! You can ask anything. If you've got to drive to work, hey, what would it take to get paid to drive to work? If you're okay, this is really funny. It's just popped into my head. So if you're gonna go, have sex with your lover, what would it take to get paid for this?
Well, absolutely. I'll have some of that.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? If you've got to pay a bill, what would it take to pay this bill? Like, how magical are you really willing to be? What if you just got really silly with your questions? How much more could show up? What else is possible that we've never even considered?
Absolutely. With everything in your life. If nothing were
Yes.
meaningful and significant, what else could you change? What other magic could you be? And just how much fun can you have? How willing are you to have fun with turning the impossible into possible?
Molly, Molly's told you I was an angel, Alan.
So this is Glenyce's rule for finding some tools to play with before we came on. So anyway.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll stop now.
Too many distractions. Woo!
Too many. All right, well, let's end with what physical actualization of a phenomenal life, living, finances, body, relationships, anything I haven't mentioned, beyond what you never, ever, ever, ever imagined possible, are you now capable of generating, creating, and actualizing? And anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, will you destroy it and create it all?
Oh, yes.
Oh, right, wrong, bad, all nine, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Awesome!
Awesome. So, thank you, everybody. And you know where we'll be in London. You can find it on glenyce.net, or you can find it on the accessconsciousness.com website under classes in London. 5 days. Come and change your life, change the world, and let's just have fun while we're doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for listening in, whether it was live or to the replay. I am so grateful for every one of you, and have a beyond possible kind of rest of the day.
And life.
Yes.
Okay. So,
Bye.
bye.